Hi there, it's John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, and we're doing another swap. It's from a guy in our own home state of Massachusetts,
Woo!
Chris from Hudson, Mass. He sent us an American brown ale straight to Mike's heart. He loves the English styles for sure.
I love brown ale, all brown ale.
So
I don't discriminate.
You need to brew one and you need to ship one back to him.
I will. It's coming. I've got the recipes.
It's called a swap.
I've got the grains
for a reason, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this beer while you were tasting it. He gave in weights and measures, so I will proceed by reading what he has sent to me on this piece of paper. For his grain bill, he started with 9 pounds of 2-row malt, 8 ounces of caramel 60 love malt, 8 ounces of honey malt, that's at 25 SRM, and then 4 ounces of chocolate malt. That's his grain bill. So, you know, ½ pound of caramel, ½ pound of honey malt, and then, you know, a little bit, quarter of a pound of chocolate malt. For hops, he starts off at 60 minutes to go in the boil, 1 ounce of Northern Brewer, that's at 7.3 alpha acids. At 10 minutes to go in the boil, he hits up with Cascade. That's 2 ounces of Cascade at 10 minutes to go in the boil. 6.3 alpha acids, and I guess he has a different batch because with 1 minute to go in the boil, he douses it with another ounce of Cascade, but this is at 4.7 alpha acid. The yeast he used was US 05. Dry yeast, no time to hydrate, just rehydrate, no starter. He brewed this back in on November 27th. It's my mom's birthday. How about that?
Hey!
Of last year. The water he used is straight out of Market Basket.
The basket.
People know, you know, from Massachusetts, Market Basket's a local grocery store chain.
More for your dollar.
That's right. And he just got spring water from that place. He mashed at 152 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. He fermented for 2 weeks at 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and then he carbonated with 3.9 ounces of corn sugar. He was shooting for 2.2 volumes of CO2. Starting gravity was 1046, final gravity was 1012, and the ABV was 4.5% alcohol. And there you go. It's got a nice color.
It's a beautiful brown ale.
Yeah.
It absolutely is like spot on where you want. It's brown. I mean, right?
Yes,
I mean, it's brown with a very subtle orange, you know, reddish thing to it,
right.
but it is decidedly brown.
But not yeah. Yeah, I can say that. Like I was going to say, it's a little less mahogany, but
yeah,
I like it. It's brown. Yeah, it's good. What's your takes on the aroma?
I'm really digging the Cascade coming off of here. I thought for sure it says, you know, American brown ale. Just getting it's a classic American brown ale, right? So there's just a waft of sweet Cascade coming off of there, and it's playing really well with the malt aroma, right? I mean, it's that grape. It's not overpoweringly grapefruit, but it's just that
it's there. It's good.
It's like a sweet grapefruit with a little bit of a malt backbone, so it's got a beautiful aroma. I think the hopping amounts and the hopping schedule late in the boil, perfect. When you read Northern Brewer, that's like one of those hops that just, man, it just doesn't do it for me. There's something about it. It's got like a earthy, minty thing sometimes, but I don't get it in this. It doesn't. I'm not like tasting this and going, oh man, those Northern Brewer hops just. I'm not getting that. So it's bittered well, and I'm not really getting a Northern Brewer character.
Yeah.
Which I find good.
That's good. I'm trying to think. The only real exposure I have to Northern Brewer is Anchor Steam.
Yep.
I mean, it's a little bit there, but I think that the Cascades mesh well, and I think that's what I'm getting mostly from the what I perceive as the hop presence. And it's good. Yeah.
When I first tasted it, I felt like I'm going to go a little bit backwards, but I felt like the body was a little bit thin for me. But now that I've had several sips of it and I've poured a little bit more, I'm appreciating its drinkability from that standpoint. I would say that there isn't like a distinctive chocolate or toast or caramel flavor. It's actually just distinctively brown ale.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, I don't know if he was going for any particular highlight of one of those flavors, but I think it's all very well married together. to be a super balanced, drinkable version of brown ale. My only thing to add to it then would be maybe just like 152 is the mash temp. I don't know, maybe on your system getting up to like 155 just to put a little bit more body in there. Or you mentioned you're not messing with water chemistry. Maybe this is a good example where a little more chloride would help just bring the malt a little bit more, make it the malt a little fuller in the mouth without actually getting more body and maintaining the dryness. Because if you screw around with the mash temperature, you might lose some of the 10-12 finishing gravity, right? So maybe a little more chloride in here would help round it out, those flavors out a little bit.
Well, my thought was maybe like a half pound of dextrin malt. You could do that, like to just add a little more body to it. You know, just something that's not going to like affect the flavor or color all that much, but you know, just add a little bit of body to it, maybe a little more head retention. Yep.
And it says 2-row. I don't know, maybe a pale ale malt would be
that's true.
A little bit more. Because I think the only note that's really missing in here then for me is like, is a little bit more bready quality.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit more biscuit-like toast in there. And maybe you don't need to change anything but the base malt. Or it's like 9 pounds of base malt. But like 4.5 2-row and 4.5 pale ale. Because I wouldn't want too much. I think it's so well balanced right now that just a little bit of pale malt, like, so take your base malt, 9 pounds, do half 2-row and half of like a Maris Otter even.
Yep.
And it would bring a little bit more of that character without messing with anything else.
I think that's your final. I think that's the final recommendation.
I always come up with like 12 recommendations.
No, but I think that makes sense. Like I was thinking, like, all right, water chemistry. You don't have to mess with dextrin malt.
This is part of my process. We just sort of like.
No, we get there. We get there. Yeah. I think your English pale malt suggestion. Is where it's at.
Yeah.
And I would try. Yeah, I think splitting the base grain. If you're saying 9 pounds, to 4.5.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, then go all 9 pounds.
I feel like I can almost taste what that would be like here.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Very nice. I mean, no off flavors. Very clean drinking.
Yeah.
Very American with the Cascade hops.
But classic American, right?
Yeah.
It's not like some sort of like
sweet label
Amarillo, Columbus weirdo brown ale. It's classic. And you know what? Kudos for brewing it classically.
That's right.
Kudos for making brown ale in the first place. The only place in this country where you can get brown ale is in a home brewer's house, right? Thank goodness for home brewing.
What about Smutty Nose? We had a few brown ales.
We did. We enjoyed some Old Brown Dog recently.
Yeah.
But those guys, they're going bankrupt, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, I think home brewing is like going to become the archival system for all these styles while we live through this IPA craze.
You're probably right.
So,
got to keep the torch burning for some of these styles.
Yep.
So, well, we appreciate the beer.
Love the beer. Thank
Chris,
you.
Love the label, Lake Boone Brewery.
Yeah. I'll get a picture of it.
Yeah, put that on the interwebs because it's a pretty sweet. It's got an old photo from 1923 of the lake. Had a boat, docks. It's beautiful.
Classic, just like this beer.
Exactly, classic, and we appreciate the classics. If you dug this video, please click on the old thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We do this once a week, and we've been doing it for once a week since 2013. So that's pretty sweet. If you'd like to swap with us, please drop us a line at dudes@brew-dudes.com. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, just leave us a comment and we'll get back to you. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Got anything else more to say?
Drink brown ale.
That's right. Brew on.
Cheers.